Fingers crossed and hoping for the best. Now, I can't say that this is anything new to the ClayTrader Mail segment, but you know what? As I've said in past videos, I'm just gonna keep piling on the data points to illustrate why failure rates are so high, why certain mindsets lead to just the failure rates being so high. We've seen it all over the place, and every week that passes, and whenever I do another ClayTrader Mail video, like I said, it's just like piling more and more examples into, well, yeah, it's no wonder why failure rates are so high when people approach the market like this person is. Now, I do want to give full props to this person, although I don't, name them or anything. They were very polite. We had a good discussion, but within the context, they're ramping up to get out there. They're ramping up to put real money on the line. So with that overall context, let's take a look at this YouTube comment that they left. ClayTrader, I'm 32 and I found out that if you don't risk anything, you don't get anywhere. Thank you for putting out informative videos. I'm glad I found your channel. Fingers crossed and hoping for the best. First little nitpick, not really a nitpick, it's a glaring issue, is how they're using risk to basically justify gambling. Hey, Clay, if you don't risk anything I've learned, so they throw out their age, because, this is, I have a lot of experience in life. And yeah, 32, that's somewhat of experience. I mean, I'm 33 and I feel like I'm experienced, but I feel like I have a lot to learn. But what I'm saying is the psychology here is interesting. Again, I'm not picking on this person because they were extremely polite. It was a good discussion, but some voice in their head wanted to throw out their age, meaning they wanted to justify, hey, look, I have a lot of experience. It's not like I'm some 17-year-old kid. I'm 32. So I've seen a lot. And I realized, because I've seen a lot, that if you don't risk anything, you can't get anywhere. That is true. That is true. But in the world of trading, you can't make blanket statements like that. Because that mentality, if you don't risk anything, you can't get anywhere, it needs to be very smart risk. It needs to be risk that makes sense. It needs to be logical risk. Risk is a very, just commonplace word. And you may say, Clay, how do you know that this person's not talking about, smart risk? Proper risk. Like I said, this is just a small snippet of the conversation. And this person's new, they're still learning. And when you're new and learning, you really don't understand risk the way that this person should, especially the way they're structuring it, meaning, hey, if you don't risk anything, you can't get anywhere. So go big or go home. Now, are they going to go down the go big or go home path? I'm not going to assume them. That would be a little bit too presumptuous on my part. But they're definitely walking on thin ice in regards to their viewpoints on risk. And then fast forward to that final statement, and I think that kind of summarizes everything. Fingers crossed and hoping for the best. Crossing your fingers and hoping, not a trading strategy. Crossing fingers and hoping, I guess kind of maybe an investing strategy, but this person wants to trade. But there needs to be more to it than crossing your fingers and hoping, which circles back to the whole risk thing. That's what also tells me that I don't think this person is exactly approaching risk the way it needs to be approached, because when you do approach risk the right way, there is no crossing your fingers, oh, I hope it works. It's just, it either works or it doesn't. I'm right or I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, move on to the next play because I have a strategy that works for me. The risk I took, yeah, I was wrong, but because the risk I took made sense, I don't have to go live in a cardboard box under a bridge somewhere. So there is no crossing your fingers and hoping. For many of you longtime viewers, I hope you're saying, yeah, Clay, you've said this a million times. But doesn't that just go to show my point on why you shouldn't look at the 90% failure rate and be intimidated? If you don't have this mindset, if you realize that, yeah, I got to invest in education. I got to learn what risk is, what proper risk is, what smart risk is, then you are on a pathway. You have a mindset that is much different than, the millions of other ClayTrader Mail videos that we've seen over the past several months. So I want this to be motivation, but also just be aware. And if you fit this mindset where you're kind of you feel like you're entering through a trade and then you're crossing your fingers and hoping for the best, take that as a sign that you don't have a true strategy. Because a true strategy, you're going to hop in a trade and it is what it is. Either you're right or you're wrong. If you're wrong, you take a loss, you move on and find something else. But if you're hopping in and you're sweating and you're just, come on, please, oh, I hope it works out. This seems kind of rare. That's not how trading should be. Trading should be a very calm, a very calculated procedure. And sure, you can hope that it works out. But hoping that it works out is much different than just freaking crossing your fingers and hoping that it works out. There's a big difference there. And you got to make sure that you know, you're approaching and you feel like you should feel. Adrenaline, sweat, you know, nervousness. If you're feeling those when you're in a trade, you shouldn't be trading, because that's more gambling than anything else, because you should not have those emotions. So be aware of it. Be, you know, just cognizant of the many different avenues out there that the voices can play. But at the end of the day, yeah, you got to risk something to make it somewhere. It's got to be smart risk, and crossing your fingers and hoping, that is not a strategy. If you are interested in trading alongside me and other traders, then I do offer a private trading community known as the Inner Circle. So the two images that you see on the screen, the one image, if you click on it, it will take you to the Inner Circle page and give you all the details about it. The other is going to be a behind the scenes tour that I personally give, so you can see exactly what you are going to get with the subscription. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then go ahead, check it out, and by all means, let me know if you have any questions.